What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90. It is time for week 34, and for the first time in a while, we have 10 Premier League fixtures to go through. So please do drop a like, subscribe. We are super duper close to 21,000 subscribers. I also want to give a shout out to Ultimate Sloth Gaming, who left their predictions on the previous video. Had a decent week. There were obviously some very difficult fixtures to predict. They predicted Southampton would beat Arsenal, which I thought was a very good prediction. They also predicted Norwich to beat Man United. We actually got the Man United game pretty much spot on. We gave two tips: Man United and both teams to score, and Norwich +2 handicap, both of which actually came in. So essentially Man United to win by a goal, but also conceding. And they also left their Premier League winner, which was Manchester City, their 3 relegated teams, and the battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th. And I know that they're a legend because I asked you guys to do that at the end of the video. So massive shout out to you. If you want a chance to be featured in the next episode of the Premier League predictions, then be sure to leave your comments down below. Week 34, we're kicking it off with an absolute bang. It is Arsenal up against Manchester United. Now, Man United are they're just going to have to be lucky that they're playing Arsenal now. Had they played Arsenal 3 months ago, I think this would be a 2-0 win to Arsenal, to be honest. I think Arsenal were looking better than Manchester United, and whilst United don't look much better, they got absolutely thumped by Liverpool, exactly as I described it, more or less. Arsenal can't get a win. They literally cannot get a win, and this is at the Emirates, which I do think will help. But I can't separate the two teams. Like I said, 3 months ago, talk to me about this fixture. I think Arsenal win quite comfortably. I think any Man United fan that's not deluded would happily say that Arsenal looked like they could beat them a few months ago. I think Southampton, Brighton, Palace, a lot of teams, Brentford, they look like they could have beaten Manchester United a couple months ago. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. It's a difficult one. Man United's defense is shambolic. Arsenal's clinical ability is lacking. They're having possession, but they're creating chances, but not great chances. And I think this game could be all over the place. So I'm going to go for the draw. My tip is both teams to score at 1.7. I think Arsenal will definitely score, and Man United should score. I don't think that's a definite, but they definitely should score. Now, after that, we have Leicester up against Aston Villa. This is going to be an interesting one. It could go either way. I think Leicester, they soon have Europa Conference League to worry about, but they've been performing pretty poorly in the Premier League. I still don't know the results of the midweek games. So Chelsea, Arsenal, Everton, Leicester, Newcastle, Palace, City, Brighton, and Burnley, Southampton. They haven't been played yet. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Leicester. But my tip here is once again going to be over 2.5 goals at 1.8. That way, if it's 3-0 to either team, which it could be, the bet comes in. I think both teams will look to score goals, and I do not see this being a low-scoring game at all. Now, after that, we have Manchester City up against Watford. Now, initially, I put 5-0, and then I thought, hang on a minute. Let's take it back a minute. I don't think this will be particularly high scoring. Man City will soon have the Champions League semi-final to worry about, a very difficult one at that against Real Madrid. They only need the 3 points. They don't need to worry about goal difference if they win every game that they have to play. So I think they're going to get up early and then not really get out of second gear. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Manchester City. My tip is Man City win, which is like 1.09, and under 4.5 goals. So they're not to be 5 or more goals at 1.61. It increases the odds massively, and it could be a 4-0 drumming, and Man City win the bet would still come in. Now after that, we have Norwich up against Newcastle. This one it's a tricky one. It's gonna be interesting. I think Norwich, they scored 2 against United, which, I mean, that's not a surprise, really. Man United were always going to concede, even against Norwich. United just don't look particularly great at the back at the moment. But I think Newcastle will be able to take the momentum and actually get a win away from home. I know their home form is where they've been picking up the most points, but if there's ever a place you're going to get points away from home, it's Norwich. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Newcastle. And in case Norwich really just don't show up, my tip is Newcastle to win at 2.1. I could see that happening, and it wouldn't surprise me. The next fixture is an intriguing one, to say the least. A London derby between Brentford and Tottenham. Now, had Tottenham beaten Brighton like they should have done, I think this game would be a potential banana skin. But Tottenham have been given that chance to mess up. They've taken it early against Brighton, so there cannot be more mistakes. And whilst Brentford are a great team, they're focusing on their league position right now. They're going to be staying up, of course. I think Brentford will score, but I don't see Tottenham not winning this game because the desire is more there for Tottenham. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Spurs, and my tip is Tottenham to win at 1.9. I think the odds are really good, but I can understand why it's that high, because Brentford does prove to be a difficult fixture for a lot of teams. Brentford beat Arsenal, Brentford beat Chelsea, and Tottenham will struggle at periods of this game. Over the full 90, if they play as good as they can, they shouldn't have many issues, but there will be 10-minute periods here and there where Brentford are really asking questions, but I think Tottenham will be able to hold firm and get this win. Now, after that, we have Brighton up against Southampton, match on the South Coast. It's going to be interesting. Southampton, what on earth are you going to get from them? They beat Arsenal, they lose to Chelsea. It's totally contrasting sort of results there. I think Brighton, they've been turning it around lately to pick up wins against Arsenal and Tottenham back-to-back away from home without conceding is phenomenal. And they really limited the amount of clear-cut chances for both those teams. And Arsenal and Tottenham's strong points, I would say, are the attack. So very well done for Brighton. So I'm going to go low scoring again. And I'm going to go for a 1-0 win. I think it could be 0-0. It could be 1-0 Southampton. I'm not entirely sure on the result, but I do think it will start quite slow. I could see Brighton winning this in the second half. So my tip is going to be draw halftime at 2.1, because I'm not confident enough in Brighton to go in the result market. I'm not confident enough in both teams to score to go for that market. But also, I didn't want to go for the unders market because it could just be 3-3. You weirdly never know. Now, after that, we have Burnley up against Wolves. Burnley have a decent recent record against Wolves, to be fair. I think it's going to be low scoring. I think it's going to be boring. And I'm going to go for 0-0 between the two teams. I could see either team winning this 1-0. I could see this being a 1-1 draw. It could even be 2-0 to Burnley. But my tip is going to be under 2.5 goals at 1.53. I was very, very close to pulling the trigger on tipping a draw. But like I said, I could see this being 1-0 either way, and neither of those help towards a draw. Obviously, if I think it's going to be low scoring, a draw is a likely outcome, but I'm going to go for 0-0. Now, after that, we have Chelsea up against West Ham. Both teams playing for league position. Chelsea wanting to ensure their top 4 finish. West Ham, they'll have Europa League to focus on very, very soon. And that is bigger than any league position. West Ham fans, they would take anything but relegation this season to win the Europa League. They might even take relegation, if that were possible, to win the Europa League, right? So they won't care necessarily about vying for Europe next season, because they literally have a route into the Champions League on the table for them via the Europa League. So I think West Ham will score. I'm gonna change my prediction. I originally had 3-2 to Chelsea, but Chelsea don't have Europe to worry about. West Ham do. Chelsea are at home. Chelsea are better. I'm gonna go for a 3-1 win to Chelsea. My tip is Chelsea to win and both teams to score at 3.4. I think West Ham, they're just such an unbelievably efficient team. They won't rotate their squad that much. They use the same group of players, but they all have a pretty good level of fitness. And I think they will be able to score against this Chelsea side. But ultimately, Chelsea are going to get the win. I expect them to beat Arsenal. By the time this video goes up, you guys will know whether or not Chelsea beat Arsenal. I expect they will, but I think they'll beat West Ham as well. Now, after that, the Merseyside derby, Liverpool up against Everton. Gary Neville said during the Liverpool-Man United game, said that, Liverpool on paper had a tough run of fixtures, but in reality, playing Man United and playing Everton are two of the easiest fixtures they could have at this moment, especially at Anfield. I'm going to go for the same exact prediction I did for Liverpool Man United. I'm going to go for a 3-0 win because Liverpool are just too good and they're going to win. Liverpool -1 was 1.5. So I've gone Liverpool half-time, Liverpool full-time at 1.66 instead. And the final fixture of the Week 34 Premier League predictions is Crystal Palace up against Leeds. I think this is going to be an entertaining fixture. I think Crystal Palace will get a win at Selhurst Park. Not without some difficulties. Leeds will get a goal, but ultimately Palace will and should be better on the day. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Palace. My tip is both teams to score at 1.7. Now, someone did say on the last video they liked and enjoyed the little recap that I did. So just a quick little recap. Draw between Arsenal and Man United, both teams getting on the score sheet, but missed chances here, missed chances there, means that neither team can take the 3 points. I think Leicester beat Aston Villa at home just because they need to give their fans something to be happy about, to be honest. Even though Leicester do have Europa Conference League in the back of their mind, I think they'll still be able to beat Aston Villa, weirdly. Man City to beat Watford professionally, but not in an absolute goal fest. Newcastle to take 3 points at Norwich. Tottenham to beat Brentford, not without difficulty, but ultimately getting the 3 points. Brighton, Southampton, Burnley, Wolves, low-scoring games. Could go either way, really. Wouldn't look too much into that. Chelsea win against West Ham. Liverpool destroy Everton. Palace and Leeds. Entertaining game end to end. So that is going to do it for this video. If you did enjoy it, please do drop a like. Like I said, subscribe down below. We are very, very close to 21,000 subscribers, and maybe we can get to 25,000 subscribers this year with the help of the new season and the World Cup coming this winter. So that is going to do it from me, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.